And welcome, Chinook fans. It's time for Fish Baseball. I'm Cale Duarte with the Chinooks tonight, joined by my co-host Ryan Beck. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. I'm looking forward to watching tonight's game.
Tonight, the last time we were here at the Pilots, it was a pretty interesting affair. In case you guys are wondering, that game has been a forfeit by the Pilots, which now in the scoreboard is a win for the Chinooks. So, Ryan, we're on the board for a win.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We managed to pull out the win there. Hopefully we can pull out one tonight. That'd be pretty awesome.
That's what we're hoping for as Micah Prees, the leadoff hitter for your Chinooks, steps up to the plate. Behind him is Levi Gilcrease. In the third hole is Justin Gomez playing catcher. In the fourth hole is Alex Crotty, the DH. Aaron Shackelford behind him playing short. And at the fifth hole, batting sixth is Preston White in left. At second baseman, Brandon Mitchie is going to be behind him at 7. And in the eighth hole is Aiden Mixon playing first base. And the third baseman, Jordan Wharton, going to be hitting ninth. And the first pitch is taken for strike one. The starting pitcher tonight for the Glacier Pilots, Kyle Tyler from the University of Oklahoma, the right-handed pitcher. As he throws a strike one in there to Prees. As Prees fouls that off to the left side. And Prees hits to the short. And Cade Harris fields that and throws over to the first baseman, Ian Evans, for out number 1 for the Glacier Pilots. Levi Gilcrease, the right fielder from Baylor University, up to the plate. 1-out pitch from Tyler to Gilcrease. Here it comes. Gilcrease lays that down. That bunt's going to go foul. Ryan, like we stated when we last played here on Friday, the head coach, John Groth, is already starting the aggression early.
He has, and that's definitely going to have to be something the Chinook team, or at least hitters, are going to have to get used to, is that bunt game definitely comes out early, and especially early in the count.
Levi Gilcrease was able to put some bunts down on Saturday and Friday, as he was able to get on base through them. 0-2 pitch coming up now for Tyler. The pitch. That's taken high for ball 1. Like we said, we are here to face the Bucks on Saturday. Apparently, we have 2 hours and 50 minutes to get this game finished, or else the sprinklers are going to start. As Gilcrease fouls that to right.
Maybe this time they'll know how to turn them off.
Well, hopefully. You know, that has to be at 9:59. If I'm a shortstop or second baseman out there, I'm ducking and getting ready for water. 1-2 pitch from Tyler. One away here in the top of the first. That's in the dirt to even up the count 2-2. Justin Gomez in the on-deck position for the Chinooks. He's playing catcher tonight. As the Glacier Pilot catcher. Carter Benz rechecks his glove there. And the pitch from Tyler. And that's going to be strike 3 to Gilcrease. That's going to put 2 away now for the Chinooks with Justin Gomez. The Azusa Pacific left-handed hitter comes to the plate now. Gomez has been waiting for that pop to be unleashed. He's gotten a few good hits so far in this season, but hasn't been able to find it yet. There's a ball on the outside for an early hitter's count of 1-0 now. Alex Crotty, the DH, stands on deck. Tyler, the pitch. Taken outside for ball 2. Two-0 count now. 2 away in the top of the first for your Chinooks. Tyler, the pitch. And there's a strike 1 on the outside to Gomez. Tyler, 2-1 pitch. 2 away here in the top of the first. And Gomez is going to call time. Recheck his bat, recheck everything, get the side from Groth down there on the third base side. 2-1 pitch from Tyler. Here it comes. And Gomez rips that in the right. And that's going to be a Chinook base runner. That's fielded by Chris McCready. And Gomez is on with 2 away here. And Alex Crotty and Ryan. Alex Crotty, he has power, and that's been in full display, but he has not been able to really connect this season so far.
Yeah, I think it could just be a little bit of the transition between the metal to the wood bat. It's a little bit weird for a hitter to be swinging that way, and it's not as light, or it doesn't feel that way to a hitter. So maybe it's just taking, we know he has power, but it's just taking a little time to get used to that bat. And hopefully we'll see that strong hitting come out soon.
There's a ball on the outside to make it a 1-0 count now. Talking to the players down in the dugout and before game, the switch from metal to wood, it really depends on the hitter. Some hitters, they like it, actually, while some hitters, it takes a little while, as Ryan was saying, to kind of adjust it. And hopefully that's been what's happening for Crotty, as he seems to be healthy. He's only been in the squat twice this season. But he has played every game, except for one, as the catchers have been kind of having a rotation of being behind the plate and then in the DH spot. 2-0 count here with 2 away. Gomez on first. The pitch from Tyler. And there's a strike in there for 2-1. On deck is the Masters University shortstop, Aaron Shackelford. And the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Crotty. To even up the count 2-2.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was super sure of himself there on that swing, but hopefully you can just refocus a little bit here and in for the 2-2.
Hopefully, as Tyler seems to have composed himself here in the top of the first. 2-2 pitch. Crotty fouls that off to the left side of the infield. Crotty went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts Saturday against the Bucks. He's hoping to change that fortune. Tyler looks in. 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. 2 outs on the top of the first. And Crotty, and he goes, and that's going to be a strikeout for Crotty as the struggles continue for the Mercer catcher. When we come back, Noah Jones is on the hill for your Chinooks. When we come back, we got more Chinook baseball. And we're back here in the bottom of the first as your Chinooks got no runs on 1 hit. And before we go, and before the Pilots hit, Ryan and I just want to take this time to explain the forfeit game. So basically what happened, obviously you guys know, the sprinklers went on, which made it a 12-7 game. And that game couldn't continue as they could not find a way to turn the sprinklers off. Well, because of that, and the Pilots are the home team, that was then their possession of to what to do. However, two of the pitchers that played for the Pilots were not on the roster, so therefore, whether it was intentional or not, uh, that was an illegal move, and therefore that game was then forfeited. And that means it is a win for the Chinooks, but all the stats were then basically cut from the league and cut from the score sheet as Jones puts that in for strike one to make a 0-1 count. So hopefully that clears things up. But basically, it was a Chinook win in a very odd fashion. So hopefully we don't have to see that tonight.
Hopefully we see the more traditional fashion of winning here.
Hopefully, as that's hit to Mitchie. Mitchie throws to Mixon at first, and that's going to be an infield single for Will Brennan, the center fielder from Kansas State. The lineup tonight for the Pilots. Coming up now, you just saw Will Brennan, the leadoff hitter. Chandler Anderson coming up to bat now, left fielder out of University of Utah. Cameron Thompson, the DH in the third hole. And the cleanup spot is Ian Evans from GCU, the first baseman. Chris McCready in the fifth hole, right fielder from University of San Diego. Carter Benz playing catcher from Fresno State. University of Oklahoma shortstop, Cade Harris in the seventh spot. In the eighth spot is Austin Chauvin, playing the hot corner, third base from St. Mary's. And in the ninth hole is a Malcolm Tipler, second baseman from Austin Peay. And Jones is on the outside for ball one. As the Pilots get an early base runner, thanks to the infield single by Will Brennan. Ryan, we've been seeing a lot of infield singles so far as Anderson fouls that off.
Yeah, definitely a little bit. It's definitely something the Chinooks are going to, at least the infield needs to just get in their heads, get the ball, be smooth with it, get it to first base, be quick, but don't hurry, don't rush, be thorough in that sense. So that way we, prevent the error in a sense or prevent an infield single.
Definitely, as Jones goes over to first. Speaking of that infield, in the squad tonight is Justin Gomez playing first, Hayden Mixon. Second baseman back in the game is Brandon Mitchie. Playing the hot corner, third base tonight is Jordan Wharton and Aaron Shackelford in short. Left to right here. In left field, we have Preston White. Center field, Mike Capriz. And then right, we have Levi Gilcrease. This is another throw over to first from Jones. Nothing going on there, but keeping him honest, nonetheless. 1-1 pitch now coming up for Jones. Nobody out, bottom of the first. As that's hit to Mitchie. Mitchie fields that, throws over to Shackelford at short, and Shackelford could not get a good grip on that ball. They do get the lead runner. And hopefully the grip does not become a problem, as Ryan was catching me up on the weather earlier. Ryan, it looks like rain might be a factor in this game.
Yeah, if you can't see it on the live stream, but behind the field, you can see the Chugiak mountain range, and they are completely enveloped in what looks like a maelstrom of just rain and clouds. And those tend usually to come over the mountains and usually over the stadium. So it could be a little bit of a wet one later tonight.
Hopefully, if it does rain, it's not too bad to the point where we have to stop play. We would hate to have to end the game early again against the Pilots, but hopefully those rain clouds can hold off for at least the next 3 hours here as Jones gets that into strike one against Cameron Thompson, the DH from Kansas State. Will Brennan stands at first after a leadoff infield single. And this is about the fifth different look the Chinooks infield have taken so far in 6 games. And here comes pitch from Jones, throws back over to Brennan at first. Now, although it's not really the way you want to win a game, you obviously want to win it the traditional ways that you were saying, Ryan. The Chinooks badly needed something in the win column, and I think they'll take it no matter what.
Yeah, they'll take it any way they can get it. I mean, and a win's a win in a sense.
A win's a win, and you do not want to fall into 0-4, as now they're 1-3 on the season. As Jones misses down low for ball two. Ball one. 1-1 count, nobody out, bottom of the first. Jones looks in to Gomez. Pitch on the inside. And make it a 2-1 count now. On deck is the first baseman, Ian Evans, from Grand Canyon University. And I might be biased, but we're on the up and coming there down in Phoenix, Arizona, as Jones throws back over.
Definitely a lot of West Coast schools this year.
Definitely. I've been seeing a lot of that. We have Fresno State in the Pilots lineup tonight, St. Mary's. And for your Chinooks, a lot of Masters guys from the Masters University.
Azusa Pacific.
Azusa Pacific, that's right.
Point Loma.
Point Loma down in Southern California as Jones misses again on across the chest level to make it a hitter's count of 3-1. And that's a good sign for baseball in this summer league, seeing a lot of diversity amongst the states and colleges represented, and that's something we love to see in baseball. So where it's not just one college, one region, really making this the best of the best. As Jones misses on the inside, and that's going to be a walk for Thompson. That's going to put two guys on now for Ian Evans. As there's one away here in the bottom of the first. Jones looks in. Double play ball is probably what he's hoping for here. Pitch. Gets that in for an early strike, number 1.
First strike is always pretty crucial for a pitcher, just in a sense for just my mental status. Just keeping everything calm and knowing that you're ahead early, and it definitely can do a little bit of a mental thing to the hitters as well.
Definitely sets the tone for the at-bat.
Absolutely.
Jones puts that in for strike 2, and an 0-2 count's even better. As sadly, we've been seeing it, and this is not just for the Chinooks on both sides, a lot of holds for the pitchers. They've been getting down 1-0, 2-0, a lot of hitters counts too.
Exactly.
And now, obviously, if you're a Chinook hitter, that's what you love, but it's going on both ends, even for the Chinook pitchers. We've been seeing an early plug here as that hits to the second baseman, Mitchie, and Mitchie steps on the plate, throws over to first, and that's going to be an out. As Evans can't log that one out. That's going to be a double play on a close call at first. And no runs on one hit for the Pilots, and when we come back, the Chinooks are going to be up to the bat in the top of the second. 0-0 is the score after 1. And we're back here in the top of the second. Aaron Shackelford, the shortstop from the Masters University, comes on here. Shackelford in his debut went 1 for 4 for the Chinooks. He's hoping to improve upon that. Pitch. Misses on the outside for ball 1. 1-0 pitch now. Swing and a miss by Shackelford. And you can even tell when Shackelford takes at bats in batting practice, he's going for the long ball every time he steps that plate.
Every time it's monster hacks, and he's not a big guy, like not super tall, and he makes the swing look like he's an absolute beast.
Well, don't tell him that he doesn't look tall.
He'll swing harder then.
He wears that 5'9" with shoes with pride, let me tell you. As there's a 1-2 pitch now as Tyler throws to Shackelford, and that's outside for ball 2. Pitch from Tyler, 2-2. Shackelford goes, and the ump's going to say you win. And that's going to ring up Shackelford. Shackelford did not agree with that one. But nonetheless, as we've said several times already, it doesn't matter what the hitters think. It only matters to 3 guys out there, and those are the 3 guys in black.
Actually, 4 tonight. They got one at second base,
There's
too.
4 guys, huh?
They brought quite the motley crew here. It's the
Well,
Fantastic Four.
Well, Chinook, we demand the best here. It's Preston White. He's up to the plate. An 0-1 hole early. Tyler looks in. 1 away here in the top of the second. 0-1 pitch. As that just misses on the inside for ball 1. White, we've seen on the mound, too. Hasn't been back since his debut, but he's definitely hoping to get on the mound at least once more in the upcoming games. There's a strike 2 for Tyler. White's actually going to be teammates with Shackelford at Masters University, and there's a swing and a miss. And the Masters University future guy there strikes out swinging to put Mitchie up there with nobody on and 2 outs. And Brandon Mitchie, as after a few days off, looks to come back in on fire here. Hasn't been able to really find his groove yet, but he's hoping to change that now. Pitch from Tyler to Mitchie, and that's hit to the second baseman. That's going to be Tipler to Evans, and that's going to do it as the Chinooks go down in order. 1, 2, 3. And when we come back, Noah Jones back on the hill for your Chinooks. And we're back here in the bottom of the second. Chris McCready, the University of San Diego right fielder. Noah Jones back on the mound in the bottom of the second for your Chinooks. And here comes the first pitch of the AB. In for Jones. That's going to be down for ball number 1. 1-0 pitch coming up now for Jones. As Jones pitched the season opener against the Matsu Miners down in Matsu and struggled a little bit as he was credited with the loss there. And that's missed on the inside for ball 2. Now, Ryan, we've seen some pretty short leashes here for these Chinook pitchers. In the past, does that leash get longer, or does it really depend on?
It just depends on the pitcher. Sometimes it's depending on how their season was at college, like how many innings they got in, and sometimes it's dependent on if there was an injury or not, and stuff like that. So
there's a swing and a miss by McCready for 2-1 pitch. And speaking of those inning limits, I've talked to a few pitchers, and they've actually been given instructions by their coach. And obviously, Chris Beck, the pitching coach, is in contact with those college coaches to make sure that he takes care of their athletes. Is swinging a miss there by McCready to even up the count 2-2. And these Alaska Summer League coaches definitely have a lot of responsibility, as it's not the typical coaching job. You can't just do whatever you want and throw them out there for however long you choose. You really have to be careful and take into consideration what they just did the previous season and what their coaches want. 2-2 pitch. And McCready over to third, and the umpire over there at third is going to say he did not go. Let's make it a full count now. 3-2 pitch coming up for Jones. McCready's going to be in right field tonight for the Pilots. 3-2 pitch by Jones. Swing and a miss by McCready. That's going to put one away as Jones gets that strikeout for the Chinooks. One down here in the bottom of the second as Carter Benz. He's going to be in the squat tonight out of Fresno State. And Fresno State has, it's been a while, but they have one championship so far for Division I baseball. And I remember that run they had a few years ago. And actually several more than a few years ago. A Cinderella run. And Benz hit over to third. Wharton with the field to throw over to Mixon at first. And the call for the ump out is the call at first. Impressive play by Wharton.
Excellent dive.
Not only just to dive and stop the ball, but have the decency of mind to get up and have the arm strength to throw over there. We've seen Wharton at short, and he's been able to show impressive range out there at short. But with Shackelford back, Wharton might be calling third that new home over there. An impressive display of fielding and throwing by Wharton to put two away now for the Chinooks. And that's always good for the pitcher to know that his infield has his back.
Absolutely. Anytime the infield's going to take care of their pitcher, it's always a good combination.
Jones, 2 outs. There's a first pitch. And it's going to be a ball as the third base umpire says he did not go. Make it a 1-0 count. Jones has been falling behind early in this game against these Pilot hitters. Hoping to change that soon. 1-0 pitch, 2 away. And that's going to even up the count as he puts that in for strike one. This is Cade Harris, the shortstop from University of Oklahoma. 1-1 count. 2 outs, bottom of the second. 0-0 is a score. Pitch from Jones. Swing and a miss by Harris to put Jones ahead of the count. 1-2. Two outs, bottom of the second. 1-2 is the count. Jones looks in to Gomez as his catcher. Pitch from Jones. And that's popped up as Wharton gives chase, and that one's going to go out of play. Into the seats over there on the left field line. Wharton gave chase, but nothing to it as he's not an Olympian jumper. So that's what it would have taken to get that ball.
That fence over there on that side of the field is probably, 7-8 feet tall.
I could do it. If I stretch, of course. Can't do it raw.
Yeah, I would recommend stretching before that.
Well, I would take all 5'9.5" of me. And I do take pride in that half inch. Just like Shackelford probably does. 1-2 pitch by Jones. That's a strike 3 looking as Jones walks off the mound with his head held high. That's 3 away for the Chinooks. And when we come back, your Chinooks are up to the plate in the top of the third. And we're back here on the top of the third as Hayden Mixon, first baseman, takes his first cuts of the day. Pitch from Tyler. As Mixon, first pitch swinging, fouls that off behind us here. Oh, 1 hole now from Mixon. 0-1's the count. The pitch. Swing and a miss by Mixon to make it a 1-2 count now for Tyler. And the Chinooks bats hoping to come alive, and they have for the past 2 games. But ultimately, except for that forfeit, has been in defeat as Mixon swing and a miss. And that's going to be strike 3 as 1 away for the Pilots. The top half of the third, and Jordan Wharton comes to the plate after an impressive fielding display there in the bottom of the second to save a runner for the Chinooks. On deck stands the leadoff hitter, Micah Prees, as Tyler looks in to his catcher. The pitch. And Wharton fouls that off to the backstop to make an 0-1 count. A 1 pitch from Tyler. Here it comes. That's right down Broadway to put Wharton in an 0-2 hole. Oh, 2 pitch. Here it comes. 1 away, top of the third. Tyler, the pitch. And Wharton is going to be rung up.
That curveball is absolute money today.
And Tyler hoping to keep that curveball going, as it has been relatively impressive. And the Chinooks hitters have no answers to it. That's going to put 2 away now in the top of the third for your Chinooks. Micah Prees, the leadoff guy, comes up to the plate now. 2 away, top of the third, Micah Prees. Takes one down low for ball 1. One 0 pitch from Tyler. Swing and a miss by Prees to even up the count 1-1. Tyler looks in, 1-1 count. The pitch. Swing and a miss again by Prees. Make it a 1-2 count. 2 away in the top of the third as Gilcrease, the right fielder, looks on in the on-deck circle. 1-2 pitch. Prees gets some wood on that to foul that off. Tyler looks in, 1-2 pitch. And the pitch from Tyler. As Prees able to get some contact on that as he fouls that off to stay alive in this at-bat.
Just got to keep swinging. Try and do your best to make contact. Just lengthen that pitch count a little bit each time and hopefully tucker them out.
And hopefully the Chinooks can start hitting the ball some more and putting the ball in play. As Prees right on cue. Laces that into center. And for the second time in 3 innings, the Chinooks going to have a hitter aboard with 2 away. As Gilcrease looks to keep that alive here. And there's 2 away now in the top of the third. As Prees was able to battle back and get a 2-out single for the Chinooks here. Pitch from Tyler to Gilcrease. There's strike 1 to the Baylor Bear. Oh, 1 pitch from Tyler. And Prees going to be swinging, and he slides into second safely. And Prees thought about going to third there on the pass ball by Tyler. And Prees looked like he probably would have got in there safely. And now Gilcrease has a runner at second to work with as he's hoping to get an RBI in this situation now. And Ryan, we've talked about it several times before. Once the Chinook pitchers get a lead, they do have a struggle keeping it. However, they do seem to pitch a lot better when their team gets them in the lead.
Absolutely. I would not rule out the possibility that Coach John Groth might even push the situation from a drag bunt, as the infield is playing extremely deep right now.
And we have seen Gilcrease lace him down here as Prees takes his lead off second. The pitch from Tyler Gilcrease, and he's going to send that out to center. As Brennan settles under that, and that's going to do it. Chinooks get one runner on. But other than that, nothing going on. When we come back, we're going to have Pilots up to bat here in the bottom of the third. When we come back, more Chinook baseball. And we're back here in the bottom of the third as Noah Jones on the mound again for the Chinooks. Comes to the plate for the Pilots. And there's a 0-1 count for Jones to work with here. The pitch. Misses down low. Even up the count 1-1. Chavin hoping to put some wood on this ball here. As he's going to hit that to Shackelford. No, Wharton's going to field that. Cannot field it cleanly. And that's going to be a leadoff base runner. It's Chavin able to get on for the Pilots. In other sports news, the Golden State Warriors have defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in the fifth game. Ryan, what's your instant analysis of that? To win the NBA championship, I should say.
It's about time. Golden State had been in that running for a long time, and it's cool to see them get to celebrate.
And I can't say the same, and I wanted them beat badly, but nonetheless, that's basketball. As Tipler, the second baseman, in the batter's box now. Jones working with a 1-0 count now. Jones, 1-0 pitch. Misses up high for ball 2. As Chavin takes his lead off at first. Nothing really going offensive-wise for both teams here. As Tipler takes that for strike 1 to put it at 2-1 the count now. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. As Jones throws back over to Chavin at first.
Definitely interesting to see which offense puts things in motion to score first.
And that is true, as we've seen in this league so far, as that hits some mixing at first, and That's going to be a foul ball called. As I was saying, it seems whichever team can break the scoring first typically goes on to win that game. And hopefully the Chinooks can keep the Pilots at bay here. And they can put some runs when they come back to hit in the top of the fourth. 2-2 pitch. Coming up for Jones here. Nobody out as Austin Chauvin stands at first. On deck is the top of the order for the Pilots. Will Brennan, the center fielder, stands on deck.
And Chauvin on first base has definitely been interesting to watch. He's very aggressive, even though he's going up against a left-hander.
It would be like John Groth as his head coach out there.
Maybe.
This is Jones, a 2-2 pitch, and swing and a miss. And did he get? No, it's going to be a foul tip as Tipler was able to get some wood on that barely to stay alive. Jones is hopefully going to be able to repeat that and get the strikeout this time. 2-2 pitch coming up. Nobody out. Bottom of the third. Chauvin on first. 0-0 ball game. 2-2 pitch from Jones. And that's ripped down to right field as Chauvin's going to come around second. He's going to make his way to third as Gilcrease bobbles that ball in right. And that's going to put runners on the corners for the Pilots. Nobody out. As Jones almost got out of that inning. Or out of that at-bat, I should say. But now it's going to be runners on the corners, nobody out. As we go to the top of the lineup. So the Pilots, we were just talking about which team could break the scoring sheet first. And it looks like they're in prime position to do so as Will Brennan, the center fielder out of Kansas State, comes to the at-bat here. Chauvin at third, Tipler at first. Brennan up to the plate. Now Jones is hoping to get a strikeout here as it is a strikeout situation. Jones the pitch. And there's a foul ball. Now, Ryan, if you're a Chinook infielder, if this ball's hit to you, do you go for the double play or do you throw home in the bottom of the third?
It definitely kind of just depends on where the ball is at a certain instance. I mean, if there's the chance to prevent the run from scoring, I would, there's always that opportunity to throw. But even if it's close and you're managing just to get an out and you can hold the runner on third, I think that'd be the best way of going about it.
And Jones throws back over to Tipler at first. Now, if the Chinooks infielders do get a ball hit to them on the ground, it will be interesting to see what their immediate response to that is. I would expect if it's hit to Wharton at third or Mixon at first, their first reaction is to go home. If it's hit to a middle infielder, they might go to second to try to get the double play. As that's it out to Prees in center. Chauvin is going to tag up from third. Shackelford gets that, and he's going to have to turn around to throw to Gomez. And Chauvin treats back over to third base as Shackelford, on a little twist there, was able to get that pop up there and quickly turn around to throw to Gomez. And I think that was a smart play by Chauvin to not push it, as he probably would have been called out. Now I'm surprised there, the center fielder Micah Prees did not call off Shackelford. Now it's a different view out here in the press box, but it did look like Prees or even White and left could get to that. And that would have been a much easier direction throw. As Shackelford had to do a little twist throw. But nonetheless, there's now one away. Runners on the corner still as Chandler Anderson comes to the plate for the Pilots. And that's going to be a first pitch ball. One is the count. One away here. Runners on the corners. The pitch, and that's going to be foul tipped as the ball hit the plate. 1-1's the pitch now. Coming up now for Jones. One away here in the bottom of the third. Still a 0-0 ball game. And the Chinooks are hoping to get out of this with no runs for the Pilots. And that's going to be a high pop-up as Gomez going to settle into that. And that's going to now be 2 away for the Chinooks. And after having runners on the corners, nobody out, the Chinooks have done an impressive job of not allowing that run from third, Austin Chauvin, to score. And Jones is 1 out away here from getting out of this inning unscratched. He's going to have to go through the 3-hole hitter, Cameron Thompson, the designated hitter for tonight's action. Jones looks into Gomez, the catcher. 2-out pitch. That's taken down low for ball 1. You know what is interesting to think about for the Chinooks? With their offensive struggles, the last 2 games, it's kind of been obviously the forfeit on Friday, but nonetheless, that was about to be a loss, which would have been bad. Their offense has come alive, but that's really not been something to talk about, as they have not been able to keep that win. And Tipler's going to throw as he steals second, and Gomez came out thinking about throwing a second, but he faked it to second as he was hoping to get Chauvin to bite at third, but Chauvin did not. It's going to now be 2-0 count here up against Thompson at the plate. 2 away, bottom of the third. Austin Chauvin stands at third, Malcolm Tipler at second. The pitch to Thompson. In there for strike 1 as he hung that curveball in. Jones 1 more out away from getting out of a runners on the corners, nobody out situation. Shackelford playing mighty in the middle there as he's between him and Wharton, allowing a massive hole there on left. Same with Mitchie on the right side with Mixon. The pitch. And the ump's going to say he went. That's going to even up the count. 2-2 here. Jones 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Runners in second and third. A single could potentially score both. And with the speed Tipler possesses, probably would score 2 for the Pilots. But the Chinooks hoping to say no go to that. 2-2 pitch, 2 outs. Jones looks into Gomez. Jones into a stride, the pitch. Up high. Let's make it a full count now for the Chinooks pitcher.
Crunch time right now for the Chinooks in this instance.
Definitely is. Everyone has to be.
Scores 2 and a strikeout saves everything.
Well, if it is a hit, the outfielders have to be ready to throw home to prevent that second run from scoring. And that's going to be laced down the left field line. Foul. 3-2 pitch now coming up with 2 away here in the bottom of the third. The Pilots so far has had 3 hits in this game. Jones. 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. 3-2 pitch for Jones. Here it comes. And that's going to hit the Mitchie at second. Mitchie fields that over to Mixon at first. And he keeps his foot on the bag, and that's going to be out number 3. And the Chinooks, after allowing runners on the corners with nobody out, Noah Jones, the University of Redland pitcher, gets out of that struggle. And we head to the top of the 4th. Still a 0-0 ball game. Your Chinooks up to bat in just a moment. And we're back here in the top of the 4th for the Chinooks. Justin Gomez. The catcher stands to the plate. That misses for ball 1. from the pitcher, Kyle Tyler. As Alex Crotty, the DH, looks on from on deck is Gomez. Trinkles that over to third. Chauvin, the throw, and that's going to sail away. And Gomez is going to be around in first, and he's going to get to second. And that's a good way to start the inning. And that's going to be a single with an error as he gets to second. And Chauvin did everything right except make the actual throw, as the first baseman, Ian Evans, just could not do anything on that throw.
It's good heads-up base running on behalf of Gomez.
That is, as he saw that ball win, and he was on his way to second. And now, Ryan, as always, when the Chinooks can get an early base runner, Groth, does he pull the aggressive? I mean, Crotty, he has his struggles. He has not really been on hitting-wise, but he's not the typical kind of bunt hitter you'd expect here.
I think Groth could make any hitter a bunt hitter at this point. I mean, after watching
BP
again today, an entire first round was devoted to bunting.
And when you have a hitter like Shackelford on deck, you definitely want to put the best situation possible. That ball is down in the dirt, but Gomez does not have the speed of a typical base runner. And he has been in the squat for 3 innings, so I doubt his legs feel the best to run. But I doubt
probably not feeling like speed.
No, I think he's thinking a nice ice bath in 6 innings. There's a 1-0 count now to Crotty. Crotty's hoping to connect. And that's thrown into center field. Gomez going to get up from second. He's on his way to third. And Gomez is going to stand at third. As we saw, the shortstop made a nice call, and he came up, and Gomez was having his lead at second. And he almost was picked off. That was a good throw. That might have been a pickoff, but nonetheless, Tyler, the pitcher, throws that wild into center. And now the Chinooks have a base runner on third, nobody out. And all it takes, I'm expecting, with Gomez's speed, which is lacking to some extent, he still does well for the catcher, but he's not the fastest guy on the field. The infield might throw home if it's a grounder. As Crotty ropes that foul. Now, Ryan, do you expect Groth to send Gomez if it's a sacrifice fly situation?
Depending on how deep it is, probably.
Definitely.
I mean, Groth's usually a pretty good judge on a runner's speed, so he's not going to send him if he knows that there's not a chance he could get out.
And there's a swing and a miss by Crotty. And Crotty's been hitting so well in the batting practice, but has not been able to translate that onto field except for a few occasions. As a 1-2 count now to Crotty. Looks in from Tyler. As he goes, and there's another strikeout for Crotty. As he heads back to the dugout. And Aaron Shackelford, the small but powerful shortstop, comes to the plate for your Chinooks. And with his power, he might be able to connect on one, to hit one deep, to put Gomez in a situation where he could steal, or I should say, come in from third on a sacrifice fly situation. But Shackelford's hoping to put this ball in the outfield where nobody can catch it. As that was an interesting play, called by Groth. Shackelford had the bunt out as he was looking to make contact, and Gomez was ready to come home. And I cannot say I typically see that with the catcher on third. And especially with a hitter of Shackelford's caliber, you'd expect Groth to let him hit. But then again, Groth is not the typical head coach I've seen. There's a ball on the outside. You even have to count 1-1. One away for the Chinooks in the top of the fourth.
It was an interesting move. That was the first time I've seen Groth go for the suicide squeeze here with the runner on third and 0-0 count for Shackelford going for the bunt, but I guess it just didn't work out in that instance. We might see that one again soon.
1-1 count. Shackelford lets that go down for ball 2. And we were talking about even on Saturday and Friday, maybe the suicide squeeze, but it was a much different situation. You had, outfielders on the bases, an outfielder at bat, where it made sense. And with a catcher on third, you typically don't see a suicide squeeze. And Shackelford is going to make that a 2-2 count as he fouls that off behind us. One away, top of the fourth. The Chinooks had a runner at third with nobody out here. Now it's 1 away. And the Chinooks, with their offense, has come alive here in the past 2 games, but this would be kind of a pop in the balloon if they cannot get Gomez home from third. 2-2 pitch, 1 away. Pitch from Tyler. Shackelford, swing and a miss. That's going to put 2 away now. For your Chinooks is Preston White. comes to the plate as the last chance here for the Chinooks to put a run on the board. And obviously the game's not going to be over, but that would be slightly baseball depressing here if Gomez, after getting to third with nobody out, can't come home from there. 2 away as White steps into the plate. Takes that for ball 1 on the outside. One 0 pitch, 2 away. That's in there for strike 1. One pitch, 2 away. Top of the 4th. Gomez on third and White swing and a miss, and that's going to make it a 1-2 count now. As Brandon Mitchie stands on deck, hoping to get a crack in this inning, because that most likely would mean the Chinooks take the lead here. 1-2 pitch to White. That's down in the dirt, teeing up the count 2-2. Two away, top of the 4th. No runs scored on either side, as White is hoping to change that with a stroke of the bat and fouls that off to keep this inning alive so far. 2-2 pitch coming up with 2 away, top of the 4th. Tyler looks into White. 2-2 pitch to the plate, and White's going to hit that right back to Tyler. He throws to Evans, and that's going to do it for the Chinooks. After getting a runner, Gomez to third with nobody out, the Chinooks cannot capitalize. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. Still a 0-0 ball game. We're back here in the bottom of the 4th. As Noah Jones looks into Ian Evans, the first baseman, and there's an early strike 1. A 1 pitch here comes from Jones. Misses on the inside to make it a 1-1 count now. 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be hit to Wharton. Wharton's going to have a tough play. Wharton fields that, throw to Mixon. And that's going to be an infield single for the Pilots hitter, Evans. As Mixon did a good job on keeping that throw in front of him to keep Evans at first. Chris McCready up now, the right fielder for the Pilots. Runner on first now with nobody out for Jones. Jones looks into McCready. And the pitch. And that's ripped, and that's through Mixon's glove. Gilcrease going to have to field that right. And Gilcrease runs over that ball. And here comes Evans. He's going to be waved in. And that's going to be Pilots take a 1-0 lead. As McCready, despite the air, is going to be on third base now. As Gilcrease just ran right over that ball. And that's going to be an error on Gilcrease. And the Pilots are on the board now. 1-0 is the score after that error. And right. And McCready stands on third as the Pilots look to capitalize on that error and push the lead to at least 2 here. That's Carter Benz, the catcher, stands up to the plate now against Jones. Jones, the pitch. In the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, the grass out in right field can be a little bit unpredictable. There's a lot of bumps in the field out there that can make the ball do some weird things that might have caused some problems with Levi out there.
No matter what, the Pilots have taken a 1-0 lead now. The infield here, though, is beautiful with this turf that was put in a few years ago. Is now it's a 1-1 count for Jones against Benz. That one's in the dirt to make it a 2-1 count now. Nobody out, bottom of the 4th. Pilots have already put a run on the board. 2-1's the count. The pitch. And that's a rip to Warren at third. And he can't come up with that. And that ball trickles in the left. And that's going to be 2-0 for the lead for the Glacier Pilots. That ball was almost thrown away there. And the Chinooks need to hurry up and settle down here before this game is blown wide open. That was a rip to third base for Wharton. We've seen some good feeling over there on that left side. Could not come up with that. As Benz now stands at first, nobody away, 2 runs aboard. Have crossed the plate here for the Pilots. And the Chinooks now down to a 2-0 hole, and Jones is hoping to get out of this with just that to his name. And Harris put the bunt down, but Jones misses up high for ball 1. As Carter Benz, the catcher, stands at first. And it seems like the Pilots are going for that aggressive mode too. And they're hoping to get a runner in scoring position here sooner rather than later. 1-0 pitch. And that's it right back to Jones. Jones turns, throws to Shackelford at second. Shackelford steps on the plate. The throw to Mixon. And the call is out. And there's a nice 1-6-3 double play. As Jones is able to ground that. And throw it to Shackelford. And Shackelford able to transition that ball from in his glove to out of his glove to the throw position in a very quick manner. And quickly, the Pilots now have 2 away here. With Austin Chauvin up to the plate, and Jones 1 out away from getting out of this inning with only a 2-run lead for the Pilots. Jones looks into Gomez, the catcher. A pitch. Swing and a miss there by Chauvin. A quick 0-1 count now for Jones on the mound. We were talking earlier about if Jones would have a short lease. There's no action going on down in the Chinooks bullpen.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to let him go.
And it looks like Jones most likely will probably come out in the 5th, and that's going to be the longest outing so far for any Chinooks pitcher as he missed down low for ball 1. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 lead for the Pilots. 1-1 the pitch. Swing and a miss again by Chauvin. Down in a 1-2 hole now. One-two count. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Pilots have played it 2. Hoping to have some little 2-out magic here. 1-2 pitch from Jones. And that's going to be a no-look strikeout there for Jones. And when we come back, the Chinooks are going to have to do some work to put this game to a tie game again. As the Chinooks the Glacier Pilots score 2 on 3 hits and 1 error out there in right field. When we come back, the Chinooks are up to bat in the top of the 5th. Brandon Mitchie now steps to the plate for the Chinooks in the top of the 5th. There's a ball 1 now as Mitchie has to come back from that. Kyle Tyler still in the game for the Pilots. Swing and a miss by Mitchie.
Chinooks definitely have their work cut out for them with the Pilots scoring 2 in the last inning.
There's a strike 2 to Mitchie. Here in the top of the 5th, Chinooks down 2-0 after 2 runs scored in the bottom of the 4th. 1-2 pitch. And Mitchie fouls that down the first base line. One-two count, the pitch. And there's a foul tip from Mitchie, and he stays alive. Nobody out, top of the 5th. Brandon Mitchie. Going to be a Mercer Bear next year. At the plate, 1-2 count. Kyle Tyler into his windup, the pitch. And Mitchie hits that right back to the second baseman, Malcolm Tipler. And from the crack of the bat, I thought that was headed to the gap, but that died out quickly.
A little bit of top spin on that ball.
That's what it looked like, as I bet Mitchie was thinking the same thing. Nonetheless, Hayden Mixon up to bat now, playing first base tonight for your Chinooks. Hoping to start something with 1 away in the top of the 5th. Chinooks down 2-0. Only 3 hits so far through 4 1/3. Hoping to add on to that this inning. Mixon watches that one in for strike number 1. Oh, 1 count. The pitch. And he watches that one in for ball 1. 1-1 count to Mixon. Jordan Wharton stands on deck. 1-1 pitch. Mixon. He's going to foul that right behind us here. 1-2 count now against Mixon, the first baseman.
Some of these hitters and their foul balls make us continually grateful for the press box with having a roof.
Definitely. As we talked about on Friday, might have to bring a glove up here if there's no window. As Mixon hits that to Chauvin at third. Chauvin throws to Evans at first. And his foot was on the bag. As there's 2 away now for the Chinooks. Jordan Wharton stands on the plate now. As Mixon trots back to the dugout. Chinooks have been hitting the ball hard, but they've been hitting where people are, and that's been the moral of the story for the Chinooks season so far. 2-out pitch. Wharton looks that in there for strike 1. A 1 count early now for Tyler, the pitcher. 2 away, a 1 pitch. As Wharton fouls that off. To make it an 0-2 hole he has to face now. Wharton from Indiana Wesleyan University. He's a Ohio native, a Cavs fan, so I doubt he's going to be too happy when he looks to the phone after this game, as so am I.
I think there's quite a few players down there that are going to be very unhappy when they look at their phones.
And Wharton, and that was hit to Chauvin, and Chauvin, it looked like when he was bringing his glove back up, he kind of forced that ball out, and no matter what, on that air, Wharton is going to be on first now, as the leadoff batter on now for the Chinooks. Mike Dupree steps to the plate. You know, I'm from the Bay Area, and I'm very happy I'm not there right now, as I just could not stand Warrior fans and anything Warriors. I just got so sick of it. That was a little rant there, as I had to get that off my chest. As Prees hits that to Chauvin. Chauvin throws to Evans at first, and that's going to do it for the Chinooks. They get 1 base runner due to an error. And that's going to be it for the Chinooks in the top half of the 5th. When we come back, the Pilots are back up to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. And as we come back in the bottom of the 5th, Malcolm Tipler, the second baseman, comes to the plate. See, he puts that bunt down, but Jones misses up high again. Noah Jones back on the hill for the Chinooks. Jones, the 1-0 pitch. Misses down low for ball 2. 2-0 pitch. Coming up for Jones to Tipler. As Jones misses up high again for ball 3. On deck is Will Brennan, the center fielder. As the Pilots were able to score 2 in the bottom of the 4th, hoping to add on to that this inning. And Jones is hoping to not let that happen. 3-0 pitch. As Tipler watches that one come in for strike number 1. Three-one pitch coming up now for Jones to Tipler. The pitch. And Tipler's going to foul that off down the first base line. Making a full count now for the Austin Pay second baseman. Full count. Jones the pitch. Tipler fouls that one off. Three-two pitch again coming up for Jones. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. The pitch to Tipler. And Tipler laces that out into center for Prees. As Prees moves slowly towards that, and that's going to be out number 1 here. As Will Brennan comes to the plate now for the Glacier Pilots. Jones, the 1-out pitch. Here it comes. Brennan watches that one in for ball 1. Jones, the 1-0 pitch coming up. There's a ball 2 on the outside now.
Definitely been interesting to see all the later counts today from the Pilots hitters. They're just being patient, kind of waiting to see what Jones has to offer.
And with that said, Jones has been falling behind here on these hitters and have been having to battle back from counts like 3-0 and 2-0. And hopefully he can do it again. 3-0 pitch to Brennan. And that's in there for strike 1. One away, bottom of the 5th. 2-0 to score as the Glacier Pilots put 2 on the board in the bottom of the 4th. Jones, 3-1 pitch. And that's hit to Shackelford at short. Shackelford gets that. The throw to Mixon. And safe is the call at first. And another infield single for the Glacier Pilots. And that's going to put 1 on, 1 out for Chandler Anderson, the Utah Ute left fielder. That's a pretty good name, the Utah Utes.
Keeps things simple.
Things simple. Mascot is a swoop. That's just a swoop of something. I think it's a bird. I have no idea what that is. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Brennan stands on first, and that's going to be hit to Mitchie. Mitchie's going to get that, and he throws it. And he keeps it as Brennan able to run right back to first as Mitchie records the out there for the Chinooks. And Cameron Thompson, a Kansas State Wildcat, comes up to hit with 1 on, 2 out now. And Jones, after a rough start in this inning, able to shake that off and has 2 away now. Outfield stands straight away. Same with the infield. Pitch from Jones. And that's going to be out to Prees. And Prees is going to give chase. And that's going to be out number 3 for the Chinooks. And when we come back, it's going to be Chinook up to the plate on the top of the 6th. Levi Gilcrease up to bat now for the Chinooks in the top half of the 6th. And Gilcrease and Wright in the bottom of the 4th could not come up with a single to right, and that allowed 1 run to score and the batter to get to 3rd as Gilcrease takes a strike 1. Gilcrease, a Baylor Bear from Waco, Texas. He's actually from Florida. As he's told me, taking the adjustment to Alaskan weather has been so good so far. As Gilcrease fouls that one to right. Quick 0-2 hole now for Gilcrease. As Justin Gomez stands on deck. And apart from a few bunts, Gilcrease hoping to find that rhythm in his bat soon. So he takes that one inside for ball 1. 2-0's the score here. The top of the 6th. 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a miss by Gilcrease. And that's going to put 1 out on the scoreboard for your Chinooks as Justin Gomez, the power-hitting lefty, comes to the plate. In the top of the 4th, Gomez got to 3rd with nobody out, but couldn't be driven in. As the Chinooks, if they lose this game, won't be hitting themselves for that one. And now there's some action down in the Chinook bullpen as Gomez takes a ball 1 on the outside. So I would assume Noah Jones' night might be over when we go to the bottom of the 6th. But then again, I'm not the head coach. I don't know what's going on in the mind of Chris Beck. As Gomez fouls that one as Chauvin, the third baseman, gives chase. That one foul and bounces on the roof there over on the left field line. A 1-1 count now for the Azusa Pacific catcher. Azusa Pacific has Freddy Cougar as their mascot. Pretty good name.
Sounds pretty friendly. Freddy the Cougar.
That's what it says on Google. And in this day and age, anything online you got to trust, right?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, depends on where you get it, of course. As Gomez faces a 1-2 hole. That's down in the dirt for 2-2. It's interesting to, especially now the NBA offseason now occurring and the MLB draft and NFL offseason obviously in full swing. It's interesting to see online all these fake rumors that go around, and fans, especially on Twitter, they go berserk over them. No matter where they get it from. Is Gomez swing and a miss for the strikeout. 2 away now for the Chinooks is Alex Crotty, the designated hitter. Steps to the plate now for your Chinooks, hoping to get his swing on track here. Tyler looks in. Crotty. And the pitch. He looks at that one for a ball 1 on the outside. Crotty so far in this season, when you count today's at-bats, 2 for 17 so far. 7 strikeouts. Hoping to change that luck soon. 1-0 pitch. And Crotty, he's going to lift that one up. Can that stay in the ballpark? Chauvin over at 3rd, and he's going to come down with that one. And that's going to put the Chinooks down 1-2-3 in order. And the bottom of the 6th now coming up. New pitcher for your Chinooks, and we'll get that name and number to you when we come back. And we come back, Chinook fans, in the bottom half of the sixth. Your Chinooks down 2-0, as that one's belted in the left, and White's going to have to give chase to that one, and that one's going to drop. And this is going to be Ian Evans, and Evans is going to have a stand-up double. That's his first pitch swinging there. And before we could even introduce him, new pitcher Robert Winslow gives up his first hit as a Chinook pitcher. Robert Winslow, in his Chinook debut, off to a rocky start already, but nonetheless, we welcome him with open arms, stands 6'5", 210 from the Masters University. Now he's going to be has a warm welcome from the Alaska Baseball League competition, as Evans stands at second after that first pitch stand-up double. And Chris McCready up to the plate now and a swing and a miss for strike number 1. Like I said, 2-0 ball game here in favor of the Pilots. Nobody out with a runner on second. Winslow looks into McCready. McCready, the 0-1 count, the pitch. McCready watches that one in for strike 2. A quick go-to hole now for the pitcher Winslow. Evans stands at second after that stand-up double. On deck for the Pilots is Carter Benz, the Fresno State catcher. McCready, the 0-2 count, Winslow the pitch. Taken outside for ball 1. And we were talking about rain before. The sun has kind of come out a little bit.
This is weird. Alaska has probably the most unique weather patterns. If you could see rain in the distance, but it might not actually be raining where you are. It's always interesting to find out what's going on.
And you're not the first person to tell me that, as I've heard Alaska, it can change in about 5 minutes. It can be raining one time.
The saying they say here is, if you don't like the weather, wait an hour, it'll change.
As Winslow, as the sun comes out, hoping to shine for the Chinooks now, has a 2-2 count to the number 2 hitter, Chris McCready. 2-2 pitch, nobody out. And that ball's on the outside to make it full now. Jones, the past Chinook pitcher. 5 innings pitched, and I would believe no earned runs, as 2 of those runs came on an error. Gave up 7 hits. Pretty good work for Jones after a rough outing on Wednesday. And Winslow, after the leadoff double, gives up a walk after having a new 0-2 hole against him. And the number 6 hitter, Carter Benz, comes to the plate. With runners on first and second, nobody out.
Now with runners on first and second, nobody out, it definitely is another intense situation here for the Chinooks defense, as giving up a hit or walking another runner or hitter is going to definitely prove to be a costly error should those runners get around.
And Winslow struggling to find that command. It's a 1-0 count now for the Masters University product. 1-0 pitch coming up. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. The pitch. There's a ball number 2 to the catcher, Carter Benz. And some action in the Chinook bullpen. Eddie Hyatt, the bearded lefty, warms up down there. And so hopefully Winslow can get out of this. And that ball's in the dirt. And Evans was running. And that's going to now be runner on the corners here, as Winslow has a 3-0 count to battle up against Carter Benz. And right now, this is not the start neither Robert Winslow, the Chinooks, or pitching coach Chris Beck wanted to see here. 3-0 pitch from Winslow. Misses down low again, and that's going to load the bases. And I know it's his debut, but this might be a pretty short one here. If Winslow cannot find the command quickly here.
Yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a problem now as bases loaded, nobody out. And now pitching coach Chris Beck is headed out to the mound to have a talk with Winslow.
This is definitely a good meeting here coming up. Calm Winslow down. A double play and a run scored will not be the worst thing. And Hyatt came out of the bullpen for a second. And that's going to do it for Winslow. And Eddie Hyatt comes in to pitch, and Winslow runs right back to where he came from, the bullpen. And I apologize for that. I did not know it was going to be a pitching change, but nonetheless, Eddie Hyatt comes up to hit, comes up to pitch. And Hyatt's going to get the warm welcome of bases loaded, nobody out here. And we'll come back as Hyatt is the new pitcher for the Chinooks. And Chinook fans, new pitcher Eddie Hyatt, the bearded wonder. And we're going to need some wonderful pitching here to get out of this with no runs scored. Bases loaded here for the Pilots. And that's going to be a pass ball. And Evans, and on one pitch by Hyatt, one run scores for the Pilots. As Cade Harris is up to the plate now. And that is definitely not the start the Chinooks wanted. And with runners on second and third, nobody out, the Pilots have a chance to make this a 5-run game. Hyatt now looks in. 1-0 pitch coming up here. The infield is in now for the Chinooks, and I would assume any ground ball, if the runner, Chris McCready, breaks from third, that ball is coming home. As with the way the Chinooks bats have been going, 3 runs might be about the ceiling for their offense in the rest of this game. 1-1 pitch coming up for Hyatt against the lefty. That's fouled off by Harris.
Hyatt's slider on the lefty is in full effect right now. It is absolutely filthy to watch.
Hyatt struggled in his first 2 outings, but lately his slider has been impressive. And it always is if he can control it. But the moment Hyatt loses confidence in it, it's a rough outing for Hyatt when he goes up there. And that's a strike 3 call on the slider. And right on cue, Hyatt shows us what he can do on the mound there. There's going to be one away now for the Pilots as Austin Chauvin from St. Mary's University in Northern California steps to the plate now. St. Mary's Gale here. That misses down low for Hyatt, down for ball one. Malcolm Tipler, the second baseman, stands on deck. Hyatt, 1-0 pitch coming up. Misses down low for ball two. One away here in the bottom of the sixth. 3-0 is the score as the Oilers are able to tack on one to their already 2-run lead here. 2-0 pitch coming up, one away, bottom of the sixth. Hyatt the pitch. In there for strike number one. Two-one pitch now. Coming up for Hyatt against the third baseman, Chauvin. One away, bottom of the sixth. Runners are staying on second and third, one away. And that misses down low is Hyatt on that pitch to make it a hitter's count of 3-1. McCready stands at third. Ben stands at second. Chauvin hoping to bring those guys in. Infield in for the Chinooks. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on that slider by Hyatt. And Hyatt worked his way back into a full count now. And he's one pitch, so I'd assume one slider away from a strikeout to put two up on the board in terms of outs here for the Chinooks. 3-2 pitch. One away. Runners on second and third. The pitch from Hyatt. That's fouled off by Chauvin. He was just able to get some wood on that. As now this sun has come fully out. And Ryan, I don't think we have to be worried about those rain delays.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I guess the rain completely missed us.
That's a fouled off the bat from Chauvin down the third base line as he stands alive again. Now the only rain we have to worry about is the sprinkle from the sprinklers.
Yeah, probably.
If those do in fact come on again, but I would assume you've discovered a way to get that fixed. But hopefully that is true. 3-2 pitch from Hyatt coming up. And that one's another foul ball. And we have a battle going on here between the Charleston Southern pitcher, Eddie Hyatt, and the St. Mary's batter, Austin Chauvin. As Hyatt is hoping to get a swing and miss on this. And Chauvin is hoping to get some contact in fair territory on this next pitch. 3-2 the pitch. One away here in the bottom of the sixth. Hyatt, the leg kick and the pitch. And Chauvin again fouls that off. And this has been about a 9-pitch at bat, and I believe this is the 10th pitch coming up here for the St. Mary's third baseman. Like I said, Malcolm Tipler stands on deck, the second baseman. And then the leadoff hitter, the top of the order coming up for the Pilots, and two hitters. Hyatt, 3-2 pitch, one away. And that's tipped to Mixon. Mixon watches the runner at third, tags the base, and now two away here for the Chinooks. Smart play by Mixon. Didn't panic. Will look the runner back at third. As McCready went about, I would say about a third of the way before retreating back to third as Mixon then turned around and stepped on the bag for out number two. Malcolm Tipler, the Austin Peay governor. In this league, the Glacier Pilots second baseman, comes to the plate. Runners on second and third, two away. Tipler takes that slider in for strike number one. A 1 pitch coming up. Two away here, bottom of the sixth. One run already scored for the Pilots. Hyatt the pitch. Misses on the outside as Gomez was able to stretch that out and catch that and keep that in play from getting to the backstop. One pitch, two away. And almost hits Tipler there on the inside. 2-1 pitch. Now for Hyatt to work with here. Hyatt gets the call from Gomez, the pitch. That misses on the outside, making another hitter's count here for Glacier Pilots. 3-1 is the count now. 2 away, bottom of the 6th. 3-0's the score. And if you're Hyatt, you do not want to have to face the top of the order, as they've already seen your slider on Saturday, as that is hit to Mixon. A Mixon steps on the first base bag, and Hyatt only surrenders 1 run and gets out of the innings. That could have been a lot worse. 3-0's the score now, as your Chinooks come to the hitters hitting position when we come back in the top of the 7th. And as we come to the top half of the 7th, new pitcher on for the Glacier Pilots. The right-hander, number 24, Ryan Jensen, a Fresno State product from Salinas, California, comes to face Aaron Shackelford, the shortstop for your Chinooks. And the pitch misses outside for ball 1. Preston White, future teammates with Shackelford next season, stands on deck as he's hoping to hit with some runners on base here. 1-0 pitch coming up to Shackelford. There's a strike 1 in. Make it a 1-1 count now. And as Ryan and I, we've talked a lot about Gross aggressiveness. It is going to be no doubt in display here if the Chinooks happen to get a base runner.
Absolutely. That first base runner is always crucial. And if Coach Groth gets the opportunity, it's definitely going to be displayed.
2-1 pitch now from Jensen. The pitch. And that's going to even up the count 2-2 now. Two pitch from Jensen. That's fouled off by Shackelford. Again, nobody out here on the top of the 7th. 3-0 as the Pilots stand in the lead here. 2-2 pitch, nobody out. Top of the 7th. Shackelford stands in the batter's box. The pitch. And Shackelford again fouls that off the left field line.
Just a little bit late.
You know, Shackelford so far he's finding this pitch. He could definitely watch these pitches come in, but just missing from even he knows out. 2-2 pitch from Jensen to the Masters product. And Shackelford's going to hit that again. But that just fouls down the third base line. And as we come up here on the top of the 7th, only 9 outs to work with other Chinooks. And right now, their offense has not been impressive so far.
Yeah, definitely just a couple of mistakes and just not executing on opportunities when we have runners in scoring position is definitely going to kill.
And Shackelford rips that down to right, and that's going to drop. And that's going to be off the wall. Shackelford rounds first. And he's going to have a stand-up double. And Ryan, just like you said, Shackelford was getting those pitches in, but just needed to get the full bat on there. And Shackelford ripped that double over the right fielder's head. For a moment there, I thought it might be gone. But nonetheless, Preston White comes up to the plate now with a chance to score. Shackelford at short. And Ryan, maybe that was the spark the Chinooks needed.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Preston White stands in, hoping to drive his future teammate in.
And Jensen looks over at Shack at second. Shackelford does messing with him on the plate. Jensen misses up high, and we have seen against not only the Pilots but the other teams here that these pitchers, especially in relief appearances, if they give up one base run, their confidence seems to take a deep hit.
It does.
And that's not something you like to see out of your relievers, as they're normally the ones that need to have the iron fist in a sense. As he misses again for ball 2, and you do not want to have to pony one up there for Preston White. As he's already the pitcher, Ryan Jensen, down in a 2-0 hole. Brandon Mitchie, a man down under, the Australian native, stands on deck. Jensen looks into White, 2-0 pitch, nobody out here, top of the 7th. Shackelford stands on second. Here it comes, pitch from Jensen. Jensen steps off the mound to watch Shackelford go back to second. We've already seen early in this game that the shortstop for the Pilots is not afraid to come over. Shackelford's going to steal third, and he's going to slide in. And that's going to be an out here as the catcher, Carter Benz, throws Shackelford out. Now, I'm going to be honest, Ryan. I am actually surprised to see that. With the way these Chinooks hitters have not been getting on base, I understand Gross' aggressiveness. But when you have a 2-0 count until Preston White, let him hit. See if he can drive him in.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing, but I guess in this case, that wasn't Groth's mindset.
And now, White faces a 2-2 pitch coming up now. So he takes a strike in there. And obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but a tad surprised there to see Shackelford steal. And White swing and a miss, and the Chinooks go from having a runner on second, nobody out, to nobody on and 2 outs. As Brandon Mitchie comes to the plate, and Ryan, the Chinooks just cannot catch a break in this game.
They can't. I mean, multiple instances where they could have gotten on base or could have scored, and none of them have been taken advantage of, which is definitely making it difficult to score runs.
3-0 is the score on the top of the 7th. 2 away here for the Chinooks, and Mitchie watches that one come in for strike 1. And we have heard this. It is a pitcher's league, and yes, you want to take advantage, and I understand Groth wanting to get Shackelford into third, but with the way these Chinooks have been hitting, it might have been better off to see at least if White could have put one into the outfield and in the gap or something like that to score Shackelford. But no matter what, nobody on for the Chinooks with 2 away. 1-1 pitch coming up from Jensen, Fresno State pitcher. Here it comes, the pitch to Benz and the catcher. That's going to be a ball on the inside to Mitchie. Makes it a 2-1 count. As Hayden Mixon stands on deck for the Chinooks, hoping to get some hacks in this inning. Mitchie takes the pitch from Jensen. Here it comes. As Mitchie fouls that one. And Ryan, We're thankful for this window here, as that had a chance to come into our press box.
Just a little bit.
As that one hit the press box actually to the left of us and corralled over here. On top of this press box here. 2-2 count now for Mitchie. Jensen. 2-2, 2 outs, the pitch. And Mitchie, the ump says he goes, and Chinooks, after getting a leadoff double, have no go there as Shackelford was caught stealing, and White and Mitchie both strike out. And again, the Chinooks struggle to find offense as Hyatt, a lefty from Charleston Southern University, comes to the mound once more. When we come back, bottom of the 7th, 3-0 is the Glacier Pilot lead. When we come back, we have more Chinook baseball. And we're back here in the bottom of the 7th. Will Brennan, the leadoff hitter for the Pilots, comes to face the lefty Eddie Hyatt. And Hyatt puts that in for strike number 1. A quick 0-1 advantage here for the lefty from Charleston Southern University. 0-1 pitch from Hyatt. As that's stroked up the middle for a leadoff single. And the Pilots are back in action quickly as Chandler Anderson, the left fielder, the Utah Ute, comes to the plate. The leadoff runner at first. And he's hoping to do some damage here. See if we can set up Cameron Thompson, the designated hitter from Kansas State, to knock in some runs here. And the Chinooks, the way they've been hitting, I've said that often this game, but it's true. The way they've been hitting, desperately need to find everything they can to keep this at a 3-0 hole here. As Hyatt misses down low for ball 1. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th, runner on first. 3-0 lead for the Pilots. Hyatt looks into Gomez, the catcher. 1-0 pitch. And Gomez throws back over to first. And Brennan slides in safely. As Anderson put the bunt down for a moment and then pulled back after he saw that was going to be a ball. And because of that ball, Hyatt now faces a 2-0 climb for a strikeout here. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th, 2-0 pitch. And that's hit out to Prees. Prees steps back a few. And Prees puts that one out. As Anderson flies out to Micah Prees in center. As Cameron Thompson, the DH, steps to the plate to face the lefty Eddie Hyatt. Oh, 1 out here. The bottom of the 7th. Hyatt looks in to Thompson. Runner on first, the pitch. That's in there for strike number 1. Oh, 1 count to Thompson. 1 away, the pitch. That's in the same location for strike number 2. And Thompson down to a quick 0-2 hole here against the lefty Eddie Hyatt. 0-2 pitch. That just missed on the outside for ball 1. One-two pitch coming up for Hyatt. 1 away, bottom of the 7th. And there goes Brennan. And Gomez cannot corral that. As Brennan steals second. As Thompson strikes out swinging. And it looks to be a hit and run there. As Ian Evans comes to the plate with 2 away, runner on second. And Evans, so far, had a leadoff double his last at bat. And he's doing some good work in that cleanup hole. And Hyatt puts that in there for an early strike 1. 0-1 pitch now coming up. This is the first time I would say the sun has been out for about the last 4 days. It generally has been cloudy around 9 o'clock so far in my tenure in Alaska, and Hyatt puts that one in.
Yeah, the sun is definitely nice when it comes out.
Well, it's a beautiful. I actually, me and my host family and my host roommate went up to the nature center down in Chugiak, and it was beautiful to be out there. 0-2 pitch from Hyatt, and that stroke to Shackelford. Shackelford gathers that. The throw across the diamond, and that's going to do it. And Hyatt gets out of that inning, allowing no runs with 1 hit. And when we come back, the Chinooks face a 3-0 hole. 6 outs left to work with. When we come back, the Chinooks are up to bat. Hayden Mixon now steps to the plate for the Chinooks in the top of the 8th. And the Chinooks last inning got a leadoff double. And Mixon hoping to do the same here or better. As Mixon grounds that to Chauvin. First pitch swinging. Over to Evans at first. And that's a quick 1 out. And didn't mean to jinx him, but definitely not what I wanted. As Mixon swings again on the first pitch. I will say, Ryan, the Chinooks have done a lot better on being more patient this game.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, we haven't quite seen a payoff yet of getting in deeper into the count and seeing a little bit more pitching, but I'm sure eventually that will come.
And we can hope and wait for that to come, but nonetheless, Jordan Wharton swing and a miss. Jensen blows that by him for an 0-1 count now. Mike Capri stands on deck to represent the top of the order for the Chinooks. 1 away, top of the 8th, down 3-0 are your Chinooks. And another swing and a miss, and that looked like it was exactly the same pitch from the righty Jensen. 0-2 count now. Oh, 2 pitch coming up for Jensen. Pitch to Wharton. That's back to the backstop for ball 1. One-two count now to the Indiana Wesleyan University shortstop. Playing third tonight. Takes his stance. The 1-2 pitch from Jensen. Outside high to even to the count 2-2. 2-2 pitch coming up for Jensen, the Fresno State pitcher. Jensen into his windup, the pitch. This is up high, and Wharton has worked his way from an 0-2 hole to now a 3-2 pitch coming up. And Wharton would gladly take a walk here, and I think most Chinooks would. 3-2 pitch from Jensen, one away, top of the 8th. Swing and a miss by Wharton. That's going to be 2 out now for the Pilots. 4 outs now for the Chinooks to work with as Micah Prees. And the top of the order come to the plate for the Chinooks, and now the aggressive meter has turned from a 9 to a 10 here. As a Prees can get on, I'd expect him to steal. 2 outs now, top of the 8th. And the pitch. Prees, first pitch swinging again, fouls that off. Oh, 1 count for the Pilot pitcher. 0-1 pitch, 2 away, top of the 8th. Micah Prees stands in the batter's box, takes one on the outside for ball 1. Levi Gilcrease, the right fielder, stands on deck, hoping to get some hacks this inning. 1-1 pitch from Jensen. Prees fouls that off the first base line. Prees looks at Jensen on the mound, facing a 1-2 pitch. 2 away. Top of the 8th. Jensen, the pitch. Prees fouls that one off behind the backstop to keep the count 1-2. No action going on down for the Chinooks, so Eddie Hyatt might come back to pitch again in this game. 1-2 pitch from Jensen. Misses on the outside again, ball 2. Against the Point Loma Nazarene center fielder, Micah Prees. Jensen, 2-2 pitch, 2 outs. Prees, a swing and a miss. And that's going to do it for the top of the 8th. And Chinooks, no runs and no hits. And when we come back, the Chinooks going to try to keep this to their best way as Eddie Hyatt comes out of the Chinook bullpen once more. As it is now a 3-0 lead for the Pilots. When we come back, more Chinook baseball. Bottom of the 8th now for your Chinooks. As Chris McCready steps to the plate for the Pilots. The Pilots hold a 3-0 lead over the Chugiak Chinooks here. 9 hits for the Pilots with 2 errors, though. As Hyatt puts that in for strike 1. And it is now beautiful weather out there at 9:15 p.m. 45 minutes till sprinkler time. On 1 count. That's going to be fouled off. down the left field line. Quick 0-2 hole now for McCready. Hyatt takes his windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss by McCready. That's going to be 1 out now for the Chinooks. No, that was a foul tip. Excuse me.
That's just always a little bit disappointing when you think you got him out, but he just made contact.
I think I might have been more disappointed than Hyatt. I was getting ready to ring him up. And no matter what, Hyatt has my back. And I get to call it anyway. 1 away now for the Pilots in the bottom of the 8th. And Hyatt, really, except for when he came in, he had bases loaded. He had 1 wild pitch that allowed that run to score. But other than that, he's been very good in his relief appearance tonight.
Definitely doing his job, eating up those innings and keeping hitters at bay. So
that's all you can really ask for the Leavers in this league, as Hyatt now faces Carter Benz, the catcher. And Benz has been a wall back there, as there's been rarely any pass balls for the Pilots. Hyatt, 1-0 count now, 1 away. Misses down low for ball 2. Two-0 count now. Facing your Chinooks pitcher, Eddie Hyatt, the pitch. In there for strike number 1. Put a strike on the board now. And Carter Benz hoping to be a base runner for Cade Harris, who's on deck, the shortstop from University of Oklahoma, as Hyatt misses on the inside for ball 3. And once again, we see a hitter's count against the Chinook pitcher. So far, Chinooks pitchers have been able to get out of it. Let's see what Hyatt can do. 3-1 pitch. And that's going to be a walk. And right after we were talking about how in command he was, the broadcaster drinks in full effect. Sadly, as Carter Benz walks to first, and up to bat now, number 15, Cade Harris, an Oklahoma Sooner. I have no idea what a Sooner is.
It's a wagon, basically.
Well, that's why you're up here, Ryan, to be the smart one. I just talk about baseball.
Exactly.
It's a wagon. It's not an intimidating foe. 0-1 count now against Hyatt. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. Oh, 1 pitch against Hyatt. Throws back over to Benz at first. Oh, 1 count now facing Hyatt, the pitch. And that's going to be tipped out to Hyatt. Gomez is going to field that. Gomez throw to Mixon. That's going to put 2 away now as McCready advances on that sac play. Gomez is able to get out there quickly. Austin Chauvin, who's been impressive so far at third base tonight, is up to plate for the Pilots. Two away now in the bottom of the 8th for Hyatt. Misses on the outside again for ball number 1. Austin Chauvin, like I was saying, showing off his full display. He did have 1 error, though. But outside of that, has been relatively good on the hot corner so far, as Hyatt puts that one in there for strike number 1. One pitch coming up for the lefty. That's in the dirt for ball 2. 2-1 count now. Two away, bottom of the 8th. Cade Harris. Hyatt looks into Gomez, his catcher, the pitch. That's hit over to Wharton. Wharton fields that, the throw over to Mixon. And that's going to do it for the bottom half of the 8th. And folks, I say it once more. It is rally hat time as the Chinooks hope to put up a crooked number as they face a 3-hole deficit coming to the top of the 9th. When we come back, your Chinooks try to rally from 3 down to force a bottom of the 9th. And it is rally time, folks. Levi Gilcrease steps to the plate for your Chinooks. Chinooks have 3 outs to work with to score at least 3 runs to keep this game alive. 3-0 lead for the Pilots. No runs so far for the Chinooks. And the pitch, and Gilcrease, first pitch swinging. And that's popped up. And the first baseman, Evan, calls the pitcher off. And, oh, Ryan, that's definitely not the way we want to start this inning.
Absolutely not. Having your leadoff guy not be able to get on base is definitely not going to help the bottom 2 guys here getting up to the plate.
Now Justin Gomez to the plate. Gomez has been one of the few Chinooks to reach base. He got to third with nobody out. But the Chinooks cannot get him across the plate. As Gomez watches that one sail in for strike 1, and he looked to not be happy with that call. And it is interesting to see when a catcher batting get upset at a home plate umpire sees behind the plate, and he generally knows where the strike zone should be.
For the most part.
As Gomez fouls that off the third base line, and it's an 0-2 hole now for Gomez. He's going to have a new bat. And Gomez hoping to get on base for Alex Crotty, the DH. Gomez restraps his elbow brace. 0-2 is the count. 1 away, top of the 9th. Your Chinooks down 3-0. 0-2 is the hole. Chinton steps off, making sure he gets on the same page with his catcher here, facing an 0-2 batter. 0-2 pitch, Jensen, the leg kick, and the pitch. Swing and a miss by Gomez. And 2 away now for your Chinooks. And Chinooks down to their last hope. Alex Crotty. Alex Crotty. No hits on 3 plate appearances. Hoping to change his fortune here. 2 away. Last hope for the Chinooks. And the pitch from Jensen. Hake one on the inside for strike 1. A 0-1 count now against Crotty. Jensen, the 0-1 pitch, 2 away, top of the 9th. And Crotty watches that one miss down low, and the catcher, Carter Benz, throws that away from his pitcher, not really knowing what's going on there, but fresh ball out to the pitcher, Ryan Jensen. And maybe that's a sign of good things to come for the Chinooks, hopefully. I think it was the ball, maybe. Let's blame it on that. Even count of 1-1 faces Alex Crotty. And Jensen misses outside for ball 2. And so far, new ball has been good for the Chinooks. 2-1 pitch. Misses down low. 3-1. As Shackelford is on deck, and he ripped a double in the top of the 7th in his last at bat, so he's definitely hoping to get on with runners on. 3-1 pitch to Crotty. Jensen takes a breath. The pitch. That's going to be a strike on the outside, and now Crotty faces the 3-2 pitch. And the Chinooks need a base runner to stay alive. 3-2 pitch, 2 away, top of the 9th. Chinooks down, 3-0. Jensen, the kick, the pitch. And Crotty watches that come across the plate. And he strikes out looking. And the Chinooks now fall to 1-4 on the season as the Pilots come out of the dugout to celebrate their win. And well, that's definitely not what you wanted here for the Chinooks, is no runs on 5 hits. They lose 3-0. We're going to take a short break, but Ryan and I will be back. The short post-game coverage. The Chinooks lose 3-0 to the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Well, Chinook fans, we're live with the post-game here, and Ryan, I know I asked you this last time, and this question, if we continue at this pace, might get old, but a shutout.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, to be honest.
What do you do now? I mean, yeah, we're 1-4, but that one win, technically, we were down 12-7. So essentially, 1-3. No, we're 1-4. So potentially, this might be an 0-5 season without a forfeit. Facing a 1-4 hole. What do you do if you're the Chinooks? Do you change the lineup up? I mean, it's been relatively the same lineup and the same guys.
Maybe it's changed the lineup. Maybe it's a good pep talk. Something to that effect, but something does need to happen at this point.
Something does need to happen as
our bats need to wake up and our pitching needs to, get confident and execute.
Well, Ryan, one thing we've been saying in between innings is, as you know, we're up here in the booth. We definitely want them to be successful, and when they're not hitting, it's hard for us to watch them as fans, and I'm sure you watching the live stream. But one thing Ryan and I have said to each other is, we kind of so far have had one half been working while the other half hasn't. While if our pitching's on, our hitting can't back them up, and if our hitting's on, the pitching allows the other team. And in this case, the pitching, 3 runs is not that bad. Yeah, you gave up 9 hits, but you should expect your offense to come up with something, and they got hitters on, but other than really Justin Gomez getting to third base in the top of the 4th and Aaron Shackelford getting a double, the bats were relatively really quiet.
Yeah, relatively speaking, we were only getting a couple guys on each inning, and it just wasn't coming together. No, we could get them on, we couldn't bring them around. So
No, we couldn't. And it's definitely something. I mean, obviously, this is from a broadcaster, but if I'm John Groth out there, I mean, I'm looking to shake something up and maybe bench some guys. I mean, I know it's early, but with the way this Chinook lineup has been producing, maybe there's some moving around and shaking that needs to happen. Is
absolutely.
obviously you want these players. You don't want to put too much pressure on them, but these players, winning matters. And if these players cannot be producing, it's it would be teaching them wrong to not show them, hey,
Right,
you're not
right.
hitting. We're gonna have to sit you a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. Maybe that's the case. I mean, it could just be everything's still getting used to, but I mean, at this point, they should be pretty comfortable playing with each other. They've been together for a while.
Well, that would be a good argument if the other teams were doing the same thing. I mean, against the Miners on opening day, they put up 10 on us.
Exactly, and that was due to errors and good hitting on the
I
Miners.
will say the fielding was relatively a lot better, and it has been for the past few games. The infield singles will keep happening just with how fast this league is, and that's kind of how the league works. Especially, I mean, Shackelford had to dig one out way deep in the hole, and he has good range, but he wasn't able to get that throw on quick. But no matter what, tomorrow night the Chugiak Chinooks hoping to get their first official, real win, as we are actually back here and Mulcahy Stadium to face the Anchorage Bucks. Now, Ryan, we saw these Bucks on Saturday, and that was such a depressing loss. We had a 5-3 lead going into the night, so we know as Chinooks, we can and we should beat these guys. What are the keys to the game tomorrow?
Keys tomorrow are just going to be maintaining that lead. We know that we can get ahead of them. It's just going to come down to whether or not we can keep that lead and holding it when we do get it. So it's just a matter of pitching tomorrow.
And it is. And as our bats, obviously it's going to be a different pitcher for the Bucks, but our bats have shown they can hit against the Bucks. And our pitching staff, for the most part, has showed they can handle them offensively wise. But tomorrow, the Chinooks are going to come into up here to Mulcahy Stadium with a 1-4 record to face the Anchorage Bucks. And that's all about I have. There's really not that much to talk about when you get shut out, ultimately, for the other team. And that's not what we're going to do, as that's not fun for us. But
absolutely not.
Ryan, any last word for you?
Nope. Looking forward to tomorrow, and looking forward to hopefully announcing a win. That'd be nice.
We're hoping. And we'll say now we win the forfeit game, and the Chinooks are on the board with a win because of that. So, but we're definitely hoping to get a real one tomorrow. Well, that's going to do it for Ryan Beck and I, Caleb Duarte here. And tomorrow, we come up here to face the Anchorage Bucks. Chinooks lose 3-0, but hey, we'll root for these guys, and we just love baseball, and that's why we're here. So no matter what, go fish and follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Chugiak Chinooks. And Ryan, we're hoping for a win tomorrow, and that's all we can hope for.
Yep.
That's going to do it for us tonight. Your Chinooks lose 3-0. Thanks for watching. God bless.